registered all of this information on blockchain to give transparency, traceability, and to provide a auditing process.
Hi, everyone. We are back with another episode of How to Save the Planet. I am Zoe Joshi, and I'm representing Climate Collective Foundation. We are a nonprofit based out of India, and we support climate technology startups. We have accelerated about 862 startups, all in climate technology innovation in India, South Asia, Southeast Asia, and Africa. Today, with me, I also have my co host, Jeffrey.
Hello, thank you very much. My name is Jeffrey Beyer. I'm the founder and managing director of Zest Associates. Zest is a sustainability consultancy based right here in the UAE. We do climate policy and strategy, clean tech innovation, and green finance, and actually work with a lot of low carbon innovators from around the world to help them find clients, joint venture partners, and investors here in the Middle East. So it's a pleasure to join you for this podcast today.
Yeah, super excited to have you. This podcast is also in partnership with Climate Tribe. Climate Tribe is a social enterprise who drives climate action through dynamic storytelling. So today we have with us a wonderful guest, Thiago Ribeiro from C9 Tech, who's flown all the way from Brazil to be here at COP28 in Dubai. So tell us what you do, and thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. Hello, people. It's a pleasure to participate with this podcast. We are a fintech company in Brazil who develop applications on blockchain, and we made a joint venture with a Brazilian company, sustainability, that we developed a system to track the carbon footprints of the transportation sector. And we are presenting this project here in Brazil. We were one of the 2 companies in Brazil selected by the Next Gen Accelerator Program. And we are representing Brazil with this project now in COP28.
Wow. And tell us a bit about that. How does blockchain and transportation emissions, how do they work together?
We made a system as a blockchain scanner. We made a blockchain for this system. When we get all of the bill of lading information, each transport in Brazil, you have to issue a document that's like a bill of lading. Then we capture all of this data from the transportation companies. We register all of this information on blockchain to give transparency, traceability, and to provide a auditing process. Then we do a report for the companies who contract the transportation, who they can develop plans for the decarbonization plans for these companies, because the logistic operators, it's complain a lot about costs, and they don't want to do investment in sustainability, and they want help from his customers to provide this plan, and they can achieve the net zero carbon projects. Then we are doing the bridge of the transportation and the companies who contract the service, that they can work together. And now we are trying to connect banks to do like green bonds, to change the vehicles for polluted trucks to electric vehicles in Brazil. And we are trying to organize a little bit this process,
Very interesting. So it's commercial clients. You're looking to trace the emissions from commercial trucking clients, also ships and planes, or do you just do trucks?
Just trucks now in Brazil. This phase is just, we do the planes too, but we do like a granular footprint. Then we can get for the customer each box that he transported. We give the footprint of this product. Now he can compensate. Then we are trying to create a marketplace that the client can do the carbonization and help the transport sector.
So it's a key building block of that supply chain emissions tracking.
Yeah, and we have a McKinsey report that 19% of the carbon footprint generated is by transportation sector.
So tell me what inspired this journey. For how long have you been a founder?
I'm a founder for 2 years. We are a back-end solution system technology. I have another project in Brazil that's not from sustainability. I have cashback, I have CBDC, and I knew Rafael, who is the founder from Verda. Verda created this model of in the systems, and we provide all of the technology to connect this in the blockchain as a voluntary market. It's not regulated yet in Brazil. We want to provide the maximum of the transparency that the companies and the people can work together with no complaints of what data is wrong or concern of any information.
And how are you finding COP so far? Is it your first time in the EU? Why do you think COP is one of the places that you need to be as a founder entrepreneur?
I want to connect to the next generation, Zen generation, and we want to be a green company, then we want to achieve the technology with this sustainability mix, and try to provide sustainability solutions to the world. And we are here to connect that. And then I didn't know how huge is the event, it's too big, and we are kind of lost with a lot of events that running at the same time. But it's great to be here.
So tell me something, a lot of startup founders don't view COP as somewhere that they should come. It's viewed more from the perspective of that a lot of policy discussions are going to take place, negotiations are going to happen. So it's not really like a center for startup founders to come and meet each other. So what made you decide to come to COP? That's one. And secondly, how successful have you been in forging connections? Can you tell us a bit more about that? Like, what would be your advice to startup founders, other startup founders who want to come to COP?
Yeah, I think like the entrepreneurs, we are like, let's get like Uber or Airbnb. They made a model of business, then the regulation comes later. We cannot wait all of the regulator. We have to respect and know everything that's happening, but we are trying to accelerate the process. In Brazilian market, we think the regulation from the credit of carbon will take like more 4 years. It's a long time, and then if you will wait these agreements, and we have in Brazil right now recent events of extremely hot, then rains that's happening that's not too good, then we have to do something. Then that's we are trying to do, to propose new business model, connect people, use the technology to escalate the sustainability finance.
The interesting thing also about a tech solution, a blockchain solution, is that it's applicable all over the world. Yeah, it doesn't need to be really specified to the local environment. For example, you can export to different places. Are you finding that COP is an opportunity to see these other jurisdictions, these other potential client countries, and how are you engaging with those?
Yeah, we are trying to open a branch here in Dubai to provide solutions worldwide. And COP is like a hub where I'm connecting with people around the world who need solutions. And I'm trying to show this case of transportation sector that can be used by gender equity to another planting a tree forest process. We can provide the solution to scale up the sustainability finance. That's what we're trying to do. It's using technology to accelerate the process.
And why the UAE, if I may ask? So, I'm based here myself. I think it's a great environment. It's got a positive time zone. It's close to a lot of different markets. If COP wasn't here, would you still have considered the UAE as a place to base your business, or what attracted you to?
It's like a hub of the world. You have the Latin American and US, and if you want to achieve Asia, Europe, and Saudi Arabia, I think here is the best place. It's the hub to worldwide solutions. I think the base here, I can connect fast to any country. And
Right. You've been in fintech for a long time, and I was just wondering, like, what made you come into sustainability per se? Is it more that you know that there's a market for sustainability? Like, how do you view that market for sustainability? Is it really growing? Is there a lot of investor interest, for example, when you give out sustainability solutions? And can you talk a little bit more about your partnership with Verda and how has that benefited you?
yeah, as a blockchain solution, I have to have a lot of use cases to use our technology. Yesterday, I was in the Green Blockchain Summit here in Dubai. Professor Dragon from finance of the University of Hong Kong. That's a more developed market. They get a slide that the credit carbon might be higher than oil and gas industry in the next 10 or 15 years. That's it's a huge market that's is going to be regulated and is growing fast. Then we want to participate and try to connect with this possibility, to scale it up with the market, because who starts earlier will get a better opportunity. And the Verda partnership, it's been a great opportunity to show how sustainability can go through a blockchain solution and to manage the clients and transportations and the fintech solutions, propose a new model of business. Then that's what we're trying to do.
Very cool. Are you showcasing with Verda here, the solution?
Yeah.
Werder didn't come to COP because he had another meeting in Brazil, but we are representing both companies.
No, it's really great to know about your solution. I think we need this solution across the globe, as Jeffrey was mentioning.
Yeah, it's just really interesting for me to hear because I think transportation emissions in particular are difficult to track. And it's difficult to describe a certain box on a certain truck as having so many emissions embedded in it. And I think what you're offering kind of does, it fills that gap between production and embodied carbon in the products themselves, and then moving those products to their final destination. So putting all that in the blockchain. But I guess I got to ask, is it kind of, how expensive is it to do this? Like, what is the motivation, the commercial motivation for people in Brazil who aren't in this regulated environment?
It's a voluntary market, then we want to be part of we have some royalties of this developed. When the client who do the transportation wants to avoid emissions and he wants to buy credit carbon, or he wants to buy, he wants to help the transport sector, we have like a royalty, a small royalty of this transaction to finance the solution. And we are trying to help the operators of transportation and logistics to move and to change the model, because in Brazil, it's mainly by heavy trucks polluting system. We don't have much train or airplanes. It's a huge country, and they cross the country with trucks. Then if you can help this sector, this is a great market. Transportation market in Brazil, it's moves a lot of money, and then the clients, they need to decarbonization this process, and we want to manage and help them to achieve the vision.
Yeah, it's interesting too. You mentioned that you're using some of this data and this information to be able to help get green bonds through banks. So would these green bonds be used to retrofit a truck to use biodiesel, for example, instead of regular diesel?
Green bonds can be used to finance new trucks, because when the bank do a leasing contract, he can do a covenant in these contracts of the decarbonization plan that the logistic operator can need to achieve. We can run this through a smart contract to guarantee this financing and if the operators do the right plan, he will get very small taxes. His leasing can be compensated by the green bonds. That's the idea.
So the smart contract is about kind of another blockchain use case, right? So you create a smart contract where there's an obligation by the person who's borrowing money to meet certain criteria with the money that they use. And if they fail to meet that criteria, it will show up on the blockchain somehow, and they won't get the benefits. But if they meet it, then they succeed, and they can actually get a lower cost of capital or a tax break. And it creates this transparency for all players. So make sure that what you promise to do when you take a loan is actually delivered with that loan. Is that right? Is that summarizing?
Is that right? And the banks, they have to use in Brazil the green line credit lines in this way. Then we are trying to guarantee this process more. The bank can give more loans, so accelerate the process.
Is this available anywhere else in the world? And this is quite new and unique. Have you heard of such solutions across?
Yeah, it's one of the areas that blockchain, I think, really deliberates. And I know with blockchain, for me anyway, when blockchain was first introduced to me, I thought, who cares about all this? What are we going to use this for? It's like they're real smart to see. I don't get it. But now more and more use cases are coming up, and it's always helpful to actually to hear about real examples of how not only can you track emissions from the transport sector, but you can link that data to finance, unlock things, and then even to the government's own goals and a tax regime. There's a lot of and we're starting to understand the benefits and use cases for blockchain more and more.
Yeah, we try to do a brainstorming of the use cases to use all of the possibilities from blockchain, smart contracts, and try to create a market, to accelerate even the banks to finance new vehicles, retail industries to help the transport operators, or even the population can buy a token from the transportation sector or credit carbon. We have a lot of insights for the next years through the sustainability finance.
That's great. That's fascinating. No, thanks a lot. I think this has been very, very interesting to hear about all the new possibilities that are going to come because of your solutions, the different use cases, and how you're going to set up in the UAE as well and leverage COP and the connections that you've forged here. Thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure talking to you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you.